Today we're talking about bees, and I'm excited about talking about bees because I actually learned a lot while I was researching this. I knew about bees, but I didn't really know that much except like that I know that they gather honey. I know that I hear they're helpful. But before we get started, I want to kind of know what you guys think about bees, or what you know about bees and how they're important. And before I see hands, I want you all to just think to yourself for a minute. I want you to imagine, what would life be like in the world if there were no bees? Imagine a world without bees. And just think to yourself, don't talk about it yet, but for 1 minute, think to yourself, what would the world be like without bees? Good, bad. So think to yourself for 1 minute, and then we'll all have you guys share. A world with no bees. All right. Orange shirt. What do you think?
I think that if we had no bees, there would be no fruits, and it would just be like food, not no fruit.
No fruits. Interesting. What about you?
There wouldn't be
No color? Interesting. Why do you say no color?
because
Without bees, plants can't grow. Interesting. What about you?
there would be no healthy bees and the earth wouldn't be green anymore. It would be a ball of fire.
It'd be a ball of fire. Interesting. Yes.
There's going to be pollen, and some people are allergic to pollen, so bees like to get that out of
Okay. Interesting. Yes.
It would be bad because you would not have more like people going like jelly because the bees do, and we have to collect some and give some, so that would be bad. I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah. Seems like all of you have some really good thoughts about the importance of bees, and you already kind of understand a lot about that. I'm going to, I think here are 2 more people, so what do you think about the world with no bees?
It would be good, but it would be kind of normal because bees pollinate to keep plants alive. Or flowers alive, and yeah.
Okay. Yes.
I think it would kind of be good without bees because then they wouldn't sting people.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so maybe it'd be better because they wouldn't sting people. All right, I'll hear one more.
It would be peaceful because people like scream around bees.
So it would be more peaceful, there wouldn't be any stinging. All right, who can tell me what's in the plastic bag? Raise your hand. Yes.
A piece of honeycomb.
A piece of honeycomb, yes. And what about the other thing? Does anybody know what that is?
A piece of a beehive because it has the same pattern on it as a lot of beehives.
Yeah, so this solid piece here, I'm going to pick it up. If you smell it, I actually really love the smell. This is pure beeswax. It's wax. It's the same stuff that the honeycomb is made out of, but without the honey, and all melted together. So this is a piece of honeycomb. This is a piece of beeswax. I got this I think I got it at Whole Foods. You can buy candles. People love to make candles with beeswax. I love the smell of it. It's kind of like honey. Now that we've kind of gotten interested by looking at these materials and talking a little bit about bees, here's the science standard that this lesson's kind of related to. And I know you guys have been learning about plants, right? And soil, and you've learned all about the parts of plants. So I'm sure you guys have talked about this already, and you've already learned the importance of the different parts of the plant for the survival of the plants. And the one that relates mostly to this lesson is the flowers, because they attract pollinators and produce seeds for reproduction. So that's kind of what our lesson is going around today. All right, does everybody have a white circle? Are there enough white circles?
You have one.
No,
Okay, on one side of it,
No, Ethan doesn't know.
I want you to draw your favorite piece of fruit. It could be a berry or a other type of fruit, or it could be a type of vegetable that grows above the ground that comes from flowers. Some vegetables are like that as well. So draw your favorite fruit, and colorful is best since fruit are nice and colorful and healthy. I'll give you about 2 minutes to do that. So on the back of your circle, when you finish your fruit, draw a flower. Alright, now you guys can still color, but while you're finishing your flowers and your fruits, I want to ask a few questions. On our science standard, it says that it talks about reproduction. And why do you think we're drawing fruit? How are fruit related to bees? Can anybody tell me?
Yeah.
Yes.
They use wait, I forgot it.
Yes.
They got their skin color from
Yeah.
Well, bees pollinate plants. Some plants grow fruits.
Some plants grow fruits. Yeah. So this is something that was really interesting to me, that the fruits, the only plants that can grow fruits are the plants that have been pollinated. And so that's kind of, I want us to kind of review what you guys learned about with plant parts. And I'm going to put on a video that kind of reviews those things and talks about that a little more. You can watch it while you're coloring, and I'll just let it play if you need to add finishing touches, or you can just set it down and watch the video. The video is called How Plants Reproduce.
Plants have different parts that work together to make new plants. The part that surrounds the flower as it grows is called the sepal. The sepal has two jobs. The first job is to protect the flower bud before it opens. After the flower blooms, the sepal supports the flower. The colorful part of the flower that is most visible is the petal. All the petals together are called the corolla. Little stalks that stick up are called the stamen. The stamen produces and holds little grains of golden dust called pollen. Pollen contains cells that are very important in the reproduction of flowering plants. Another important part that is needed for the plant's reproduction is called the pistil. In order for flowering plants to reproduce or make new plants, the pollen from the stamens must travel to the pistil. When the pollen arrives and sticks to the pistil, we call that process pollination. Sometimes plants need help in the pollination process, getting the pollen from the stamen to the pistil. One way is by insects. The beautiful color, pretty smell, and sweet nectar from the flowers attracts insects to the flower. Pollen from the flower's stamen is picked up by hairs on the insect's body. When the insect flies to another flower, some of the pollen rubs off from the insect. Another way pollination occurs is by wind. Lots of times, the pollen grains are tiny and light, and the wind can easily carry them from the stamens to the pistils. Some birds also help in the pollination process. Once the pollen grains stick to the pistil, a pollen tube begins to form. The pollen tube extends down to the ovary, the lowermost part of the pistil. In the ovary, we find the ovules. The ovules develop into seeds. After fertilization, the petals of the flower dry out and fall off. They're not needed anymore. And then, the ovary transforms into a fruit. Fruit surrounds and protects the seeds. The next time you eat certain fruit or vegetables, you can check out the seeds inside. The seed contains the young plant that allows the plant to reproduce. Did you know that some plants don't have flowers at all? They form seeds inside cones. Pine trees and fir trees are two kinds of plants that have cones instead of flowers. At first, cones are shut tight until the seeds have developed. Then the cones open, allowing the seeds to fall to the ground so they can begin to grow.
In that video, who can tell me the purpose of fruit on a flowering plant? Yes.
To protect the seed.
To protect the seeds. So why are fruit important to us? Yes.
Because they keep our body healthy.
Yeah, so there's all kinds of nutrients. We know that fruit's healthy. What else is important about fruit? Other than the nutrients inside them, what is inside the fruit that make them important not only for the nutrients inside each individual fruit, but for the reproduction of fruit? What is inside the fruits that is important for plant reproduction and survival? Yes. The seeds, yeah. Without their fruits, plants won't make any seeds. What happens if the plants wouldn't make any seeds?
The plants.
Sorry?
Plants.
They would.
No more trees.
No more plants, no more trees. Yeah, if they don't make any seeds, then they wouldn't be able to make new plants. The plants would just die, and then what would happen?
So another way to say that would be that a plant wouldn't be able to complete its life cycle.
Yeah, exactly. The plant's life cycle is to create fruit, and from the fruit to complete a cycle by starting again. Exactly. So we're going to do a little activity here that I think is going to be fun to reenact how that is important and what it has to do with bees. I need 2 volunteers. You? No? You? And you. Pink shirt. I should have gotten name tags again so that I could remember all your names. So sorry about that. All right, so these 2 volunteers are my very important worker bees. Now, everyone needs to take their circle flower, and if you're sitting next to one of the bees, can you flip their circle so that the flower is facing upwards, and set it on the table so that the flower is on top. And the worker bees are going to be spreading around the honey. Everybody starts off with a little bit of pollen, right? Here is your pollen.
My name is
Zoe, I don't know.
It's all pollen.
All right.
Don't you dare take my pollen.
So everybody has got some pollen on their flowers, right? All right. Now, you guys, the worker bees, are going to go around to every flower in this field or meadow. And when you go to a flower, bees take a little bit of pollen, and then they leave a little bit of pollen as they go. So for each flower, you're going to take a little bit and hold on to it, and then you're going to drop a little bit that off the next flower and pick up a little bit. So you're going to take a little bit and leave a little bit for each flower. So when I say go, you guys are going to move around until every flower has spread honey. I think if we give you about 1 or 2 minutes, we should be able to get everybody. Ready, set, go. You can buzz as you go if you want. All right, once your flower has been pollinated, raise your hand so we know when everyone's done. Fine. All right, you can go back down. All right, guys, now what happens to your flowers now?
They bloom.
So you can turn them over and they turn into fruit, right?
Yeah.
And now we have all this wonderful fruit. What happens next year from these fruits?
It dies. It dies.
Yeah, what happens to the seeds?
They plant them the whole cycle starts over. They get
Yeah, guys, I'm hearing a lot about the life cycle of plants, which is awesome. I have some really bad news though. These bees experience something called colony collapse. Their colony that they lived in, these worker bees, got a disease and they wandered off and couldn't find each other and they disappeared. That's happening to a lot of bees. So thank you bees, but sorry, because next year you're not going to be able to do this. And now Imagine these are the flowers that bloomed the following year after they repeated the life cycle, but there's no bees to come and pollinate them. So right now, I need everybody to drop their fruit into this basket because it has died and its life cycle has ended.
I can turn it. Can I keep the yarn?
That's fine.
All
Alright guys, let's come back together. So we just kind of reenacted the importance of bees for reproducing plants. And when the bees are not there, the plants will not be able to complete their life cycle and they will die. That's one of the important things that we're going to learn. The next part, we're going to explore this idea more. And the way that we're going to do that is there's a lot of things I wanted to talk about with bees, but there's so many things and we don't really have that much time. So for this portion, you're each going to work in your table groups. And each of your table groups is going to have a different question to answer. I'm going to give you guys about 2 or 3 minutes to talk about it on your own. If you guys need help, I also have books that I'll bring to your table after you guys have talked about it. You'll have a few more minutes to look at the pages that I marked to answer the questions. And as a table, I want you to each answer the question on your little piece of honeycomb that I'm going to give you. And you can write the answer in the back. There could be one person who writes the answer. Or you can just talk about it. And then when everyone has researched their topic and shared your own ideas, it's okay if you don't know it completely. You can ask questions about it too. And we can talk about it afterwards. You're going to share what you learned or what you talked about with the rest of the group so we can all talk about these questions. All right, so I'm going to hand these out. As soon as I hand your table, you will read the question together and then talk about it for about 2 or 3 minutes. Share your ideas with each other. And even if you're not sure, I encourage everyone to share your experiences with bees or ideas that you have. Even if you're not sure it relates entirely. All right, guys, we're going to move on. So if everyone can sit back down, come back together. You guys came up with some really good ideas, and your research helped you. So we're going to move on to the next portion, the explain portion of the class. We're following the 5E model, which I'm not sure you guys have done, but explain is the third part. You guys were exploring new ideas, and now you're going to explain it to each other, and we're going to talk about some of the important words. First, I have the questions in order. Why do bees need flowers, and why do flowers need bees? Who had this question? So your group, what did you guys say?
We said bees need flowers because the nectar and the pollen is kind of like food to them.
Okay, good.
And flowers need bees because they help spread the pollen.
They help spread the pollen, yeah. All right, and when one group is talking, if everyone could just close their mouths and listen respectfully so that when we come around to you, everyone will be listening to you and hearing the ideas that you guys thought of. Yeah, so they help spread the pollen. Does anybody know what it's called when there's an animal that helps spread the pollen? Yes.
The animal is a pollinator and they're doing pollination.
Yeah, they're doing pollination. So I have that vocabulary word up here. When you guys talk about bees, you can call them pollinators because they move pollen from the stamen, the male part of the flower, to the stigma, which is the female part of another flower, and that's how the fruit is produced. So awesome, that's exactly right. And there are other pollinators. Bees produce most of the food that we eat by pollination. But there are butterflies. Does anybody know other pollinators? Hummingbirds, yeah. What about anybody else? Do you know of any other types of pollinators?
There's dragonflies?
Dragonflies, exactly.
Butterflies?
Butterflies. Anybody else have a different one?
Hummingbirds?
Hummingbirds. There is another type of fly that I read about. I don't remember the name of it though, but one that I thought was interesting was bats at night.
Oh yeah.
Spread, pollinate, especially like in the desert, the cactus flowers.
Oh yeah,
Bats do that at night, fruit bats. So there are other animals. Also, humans can pollinate, but it takes a long time. Some people do it on a small scale, they do it by hand. They take a little pollen and they brush it against the flowers. But imagine how many flowers bees pollinate every day. And if humans had to try to do that, how much energy that would take. Whether it would be like hand energy, or if they came up with some sort of robot bee that did it, that would still take a lot of some sort of like mechanical, like electricity, energy, or something. So bees are amazing in how much they do for us. Let's move on to the next question. Why are bees important to humans? Who had this question? What did you guys say?
We did.
You guys had it. What did you guys say?
Bees are important to humans because they make food for us and honey. Also, the plants would be brown and everything would be miserable without bees.
Very good. Do you guys like fruits?
Yeah.
I love fruit. Watermelon, strawberries. That's all of it comes from bees. How do bees collect pollen? You guys back here, what do you guys say?
So, the bee has a positive electricity and pollen is negative electricity that attracts like a magnet. Like
Yeah.
They
Isn't that amazing? Not only do they have little furs that I've heard you guys talking about.
And when they land on the flower, they use the special fur that is made to hold pollen together and carry it away.
Very good. Yeah, I thought that was so interesting about the electricity. The pollen has, did you say it was a positive electric charge on the pollen?
No, pollen is
pollen's
negative. The bee
Yeah,
makes
the bees-
positive electricity when
Uh-huh.
it makes it.
They create it when they fly, right?
Yeah.
Their vibrating creates the charge that attracts the pollen. Which is really interesting, especially since they don't even really use the pollen that much. Some bees do use it as like a protein, but mostly they just want the nectar. So I thought that was really interesting. Good research. What is honey made of? Was that you guys? Who had honey? What did you guys say?
Honey is made out of nectar, pollen, and bee spit. Bee spit has a chemical reaction and mixes up to a very sticky mixture.
Very good. So it's made of the nectar. And did you? How do the bees pick up the nectar?
They suck it up with their
Very good. Yeah, and they carry it around in one of their stomachs, right? Because you guys said they had 2 stomachs.
in their mouth. They chew it up.
And they chew it out. Isn't that interesting? Something that we love. Do you guys like honey?
Yeah.
No.
Honey, I love honey. It's so sweet. And it's like a medicine. It is really, really
Yeah,
healthy
honey's
for
so
you. Probably not like a lot because it does have sugar in it, but it's really natural sugar. Yes.
Honey is a medicine, and it can also help you with birds. Like if you put honey on your leg or arm when it was like burned from hot food dye.
Yeah.
That it actually helps it.
Good. People put it on their skin for different reasons for healing. It's kind of funny if you think about it that bees have been chewing it up and swallowing it in their stomach and then throwing it up in their beehives. And then we love to eat it. But it's so good. Yeah?
Since they have 2 stomachs, one is since they store one with pollen,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's supposed to be like cleaner. Like
Interesting.
it's touched more pollen
Uh-huh.
than what's eaten, what the bees eat.
That kind of makes
Like its
sense.
body would function
Yeah.
to take the real food
Uh-huh.
to
Yeah, I read
its
that one of them
pollen to
is like for the energy storage, and then the other one's for like storing it to bring back to the hive. So it makes
so it's like a
sense.
storage room in
Mhm.
their body.
All right, are bees and wasps the same? Who had this question? Are bees and wasps the same? You guys had this one, right?
Mhm.
What did you guys say?
We said that it isn't the same. They aren't the same because
Wasps sing multiple times. Did I give you guys a book? Did you guys learn anything different from the book about how wasps are different? Did you guys learn anything different from the book?
Not really.
Okay, well the thing that, I think that's interesting that they sing multiple times because bees do, what happens when they sing?
They die.
Yeah, they die because like their intestines or their heart and all their stuff, because bees have hearts, which I didn't know, it comes out when they sing. and they die. But wasps,
They can sting multiple times.
It's because
Also-
they put it out, and then when the poison gets in, they put it in again, and they
Interesting.
live, and then
they also, bees eat nectar, right? Wasps eat bees and other
Yeah.
insects. They might eat some nectar, but they like to eat bees. And also like meat from like a cookout. If you see wasps, they might land on your hand there and try to eat the meat of it, because they do not gather honey like bees do. So they're very different. They build the similar hives, but they're very different than honeybees.
I had a wasp fly.
Why are the bees disappearing? Who answered this question? Yes, what do you guys say?
The bees are disappearing because of serious diseases and pesticides that are toxic and can kill them. They're also disappearing because other animals can hurt them, such as mites.
Mites. Yeah, mites. I read about mites, and they're like little fleas. They're like, you know how mosquitoes like to suck your blood? Mites get on bees, and they suck their blood. I guess they have blood, I'm not sure. But I read that they get inside the hives when the bees are just little larvae, or larvae. And when they're in their little like hexagon sealed up and growing, the mites get in there before them and feed off them the whole time they're growing, and then multiply. And when they pop out, the bees are born and the mites spread throughout the rest of the hive. And that's how a whole hive can disappear, is because of those mites and pesticides which weaken the bees. So after the things we've been learning about, I think that's our last question. The fourth part is to kind of take this a little bit further. How many of you, after we've been learning about bees and all the things they do, how many of you would like to help save the bees? Or would you like all the bees to disappear?
This is sad.
So, if all the bees disappear, what else would disappear? Flowers. I heard a lot of good reasons, and I know after learning about this, I realized how important bees are. That 1 in every 3 meals that you eat is all thanks to the bees. So imagine if we had no bees, then not only would we have that, but probably a lot of the animals would not have food to eat. And then the animals that eat other animals wouldn't have food to eat.
Wait, you know what? And then, so if bees get extinct, the other animals will probably die and get extinct too, and then humans won't have anything to eat and they will get extinct too, and that will be the end of pretty much the whole entire world.
Yeah. So I was going to do something else with you guys. I don't think we really have time to do it though, because you guys go to lunch soon. But I made a poster, and I was going to get you guys to help me with the poster. But maybe it's something you guys can do another time. Let's be awesome. This is a reminder of ways that you guys can help the bees. And I think a lot of the stuff you learned in this lesson will help you come up with ideas to save the bees. Like planting a lot of flowers that the bees will be able to eat. And I see you guys have flowers here. You can plant them in pots. You can plant them in the yard. And also buy local honey. And encouraging your family or neighbors to not use fertilizers and pesticides that will kill the bees, because we definitely don't want to kill the bees. We don't really have time for any more questions or comments. But I have little squares here that each table group could write their idea of what they want to, what they would have an idea to save the bees. Since we don't have time today, I'm going to leave it with you guys. If you have time to make a poster before the end of the year, you can do that. But I think we're out of time for today, so thank you guys so much for learning with me about bees. I also have something to give you guys, and it may be something, I'm not sure how many people would like to eat this or can eat this, but I have honey sticks. As a way to appreciate the honey, is honey stick something I can hand out?
Sure, we don't have allergies as far as
Okay,
honey
awesome.
goes,
No
so.
allergies, so everybody here gets a honey stick.